Okay, hello and welcome. Thank you, Jessica and Guillaume, for coming today. And we've got a presentation, so it's probably easier. So Jessica and Guillaume have been running workshops to talk about I guess, the ins and outs of the tax reporting side of things and sort of all the things they've been learning over the last couple of years, because this is pretty much an ever-changing landscape, but there's some fundamentals in place. So Jessica's going to run through that. Naturally, they do offer a service for help to be able to kind of be a guide to the DIY side of things, but also actually really getting in there and helping you get your tax reporting done. So depending on where you are in the world, it is tax time for some, but of course, tax will be at different stages for everyone around the world. So I'm pretty much just going to hand it over to Jessica. Jessica, you said we've got probably about an hour's worth of sort of stuff to go through. So keep your questions coming into the chat box, because Guillaume can answer through that, but then we'll have kind of Q&A at the end as well, just for anything that comes up. And yes, we have got, people from around the world. These guys are based in US and Canada, but obviously with their clients, they have people from Australia and UK. And yeah, so we sort of wanted to get kind of a focus thing on our bot buddies, but of course this is for anybody even not doing the plan, but it's probably more prevalent to doing the plan because there's so many transactions involved. So Jessica, do you want to get your screen going there?
Yeah, before we start that, I just want to say thank you to inviting us to come here and talk to you. Jody is one of my inspirations because not only for the last couple of years, she's been a business mentor and she's a crypto queen investor, and I get some great ideas from her sometimes, but also she has inspired me with her digital nomad travels. And I'm actually getting ready. I'm going to take a trip in February to go visit my son, and we're going to go see Spain. Sort of in part because Jody's like, go travel, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And even though I'm usually a home buddy, so lovely to be here with you. Like she said, I do have about an hour's worth of material. It's a little bit about taxes, and it's a lot about how we can help you, and there's lots of ways we can help you. So no pressure to purchase anything. I just want to say that up front. But if you don't learn enough from us, we do have a gift that we're going to share at some point, not right away because we don't want to distract you. But if you haven't gotten it yet, we have something for you. And I should follow my script because otherwise I will forget something and skip something. So now I will share my screen. Yes, I'm here to educate you a little bit about crypto taxes and a lot about how we can help you. And I already said that, didn't I? Okay. So if you're here and you have no knowledge of crypto and you've never bought or sold any, I don't know how you ended up in a crypto bot buddy group, but that's okay. Welcome. You might not necessarily need to be here, but if you're here and you don't really want help with your crypto taxes, you probably can skip out. But if you're one of the people who does have some crypto and might need to report some transactions on your income taxes, you might belong here. And if you're a more experienced investor with bot automations, DeFi, yield farming, mining, and any other number of complicated schemes, you definitely want to stay tuned. And it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways, that I hope if you stay long enough, you will definitely learn something that you can use. And I do have about an hour's worth of material to get through. So hold your questions or type your questions in the chat. I will stay as long as Jody will let me and answer any questions that people have. So don't worry about that. And if you have any questions and you're watching the replay or you can't stay long enough to ask your questions, we do have a calendar link where you can book a call with me. And Guillaume, you could put that in right now if you want to. And we have a gift for you. And I would love to hear how many of you here would like to pay less in taxes. Any hand waves? Yeah. How many of you would like to keep more of your crypto gains, or at least the coins that you sort of have, since most of us don't have a lot of gains right now, right? Okay, and how many of you would love for someone else to figure out all the damn tax stuff so you can get back to living your life and or investing? Anybody? Right? Okay. So we're here to show you how you can optimize your taxes so you pay the least amount possible without becoming digital nomads like Jody, so you don't have to do anything. And without spending hours and hours of your time stressing about the details, wrestling with crypto tax software, or explaining to your accountant the particulars you don't understand about crypto and taxes. So how would it feel to you to be done with your taxes and with time to spare, and you know that they're done right, so you're paying the least amount possible and keeping as much of your hard-won crypto gains as you can, and all of this with a minimum of time and effort on your part? So that's what we are hoping to help you find. But before we get started, we do have to talk a little bit about legal stuff. So this presentation is for educational purposes only and should never be considered financial advice. We always tell even our clients this: please consult your tax expert about your personal situation, because they know your country's laws best and they know your personal financial situation better than we do. So take everything with a grain of salt. And here we go. With all that said, you might have seen a headline like this recently: Biden is hiring 87,000 new IRS agents and they're coming for you. And if you're not terrified by that, I don't know what's terrifying. Or you might have seen the IRS takes out a John Doe summons on crypto prime dealer SFOX to find tax cheat customers. It seems like in particular the US, but I'm sure the world over, that as soon as you sell or earn your first crypto, you have tax reporting obligations, and every government all over the world wants a piece of your crypto earnings. Yes. So in the USA, the IRS has actually modified the first question on the tax form for 2022 to be even more specific than it was before. And it now says, at any time during 2022, did you receive as a reward or earn or compensation or sell, exchange, gift, or otherwise dispose of a digital asset or financial interest in the digital asset? And this matters because this is the first question on the IRS 1040 that all of the US citizens have to file. And if you lie about whether or not you've sold or received crypto, it's a felony with massive penalties of jail time and fines. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to lie on my taxes and get caught and end up with huge consequences. But the fact of the matter is that most people really don't want to spend too much time on their taxes. In fact, you may have noticed that all of the crypto tax software out there cater to it by saying things like this: crypto tax reports in 20 minutes. And they boldly proclaim you can get your crypto tax reporting done in 20 minutes or less. And I'm here to tell you that if you trade bots, or if you do any DeFi, or if you have multiple exchanges and you move crypto around frequently, you might be able to get a tax report approximately 20 minutes after your data is fully imported. But first of all, make sure that the tax software you choose can import the number of transactions that you need, because a lot of the softwares out there hide the limitations in the very fine print, and they'll only import 20,000 or maybe 100,000. And those of you who do bot trading in the plan, you may have 300, 400, 700. I've seen even 1 million transactions. So getting one of these cryptocurrency softwares that doesn't handle a lot of transactions is a very big mistake. Don't do that. And then others make it very difficult to categorize your DeFi stuff accurately. So if you are doing DeFi protocols like Drip and Animal Farm and things like this, you might have a little bit of trouble reconciling it in most of the softwares. And then on top of all that, Lord knows if the report you prepared in 20 minutes is accurate, or if it is prepared in such a conservative way that it is over-reporting your gains and losses in such a way that you will end up paying a lot more in taxes than you should. But before we get into all that details, I want to introduce you to someone I met last year. This is Donna, or we're pretending this is Donna because she probably doesn't want her name her picture all over the internet. Donna is one of the sweetest people you could meet. She came into some money in 2021, not sure how. It's possible she got a medical payment or of some kind for being in an accident or something. And it wasn't money she was expecting. So she decided to put all of her money into crypto investing. And those of you who are here and are into crypto, if you got a big chunk of money and it was like, what do you do with it? I know I would definitely be jumping right into crypto. And she'd been hearing about all these investment successes and how crypto is going to be the future. And she got really excited about it and she went a little crazy. She started off by buying a variety of coins, and then she taught herself how to move coins around between wallets and exchanges. And then, most importantly, she bought a sizable chunk of Bitcoin in January of 2021. And that was pretty awesome because, as luck would have it, that purchase of Bitcoin went way up in value. Pretty soon, her Bitcoin was worth a lot more than she started with, and I don't know why, but she decided to sell 100% of it. She cashed out $79,000 worth of gains in April. And then I don't know what happened, but she cashed out another 81,000 gains in May. And she couldn't have timed her exit better because late May 2021 was when the price of Bitcoin peaked and then started crashing for the year. So when I saw her numbers, I was just floored because she had done so well. She made $160,000 just on Bitcoin. Now, she had a lot of money to start with, but still, she made $160,000. And I must say, I was a little jealous. And then I'm not sure what happened. She took some money out and then she moved most of her investment funds into a coin some of you may have heard of called Ripple or XRP. And that's where her story gets really sad because here is a chart of Ripple since 2014. You can see it had some pretty big spikes in value. The red line is Ripple in dollars, and the blue line is the price of Ripple figured in Bitcoin. And the arrow is about where she bought into it. And I'm sure you see what happened after the arrow. So remember this picture for a sec, and then I'm gonna just introduce a little bit more about myself because I haven't yet. My name is Jessica Freeman, and I graduated from college with a degree in organ performance. That is me performing a recital with two of my piano students in the front row in 2018. And you might wonder, looking at this picture, why the heck I'm now helping people with crypto taxes. And we can go into a long story about me graduating from music school with almost no money, making my first investment of meager in earnings from piano teaching with a financial advisor who was at a bank. And he coached me to invest in tech stocks at the height of the 2000-2001 tech bubble. And guess what? That didn't go very well. So after that failure, I learned never trust financial advisors, and I got really hands-on with teaching myself how to invest and how to do my own taxes, even when they got really complicated. Later, I learned how to keep books so I could serve multiple nonprofits as their volunteer bookkeeper and treasurer. And that included figuring out how to clean up financial puzzles that had been left behind by previous treasurers. And that's maybe not so interesting, but my story gets really interesting when I started investing in crypto in 2021. Once I dove into crypto, I made things really complicated very quickly by running bot automations, exploring DeFi protocols, finding places to earn interest, and moving my crypto all over the place. I also met up with Guillaume Proulx, who now serves as the Vice President of Technology at Beta Virtual Assistants, where we work. And he is a software engineer and fellow affiliate marketer from Quebec, Canada. We started working together on a blog for busy parents like us that would coach people how to be safe as they started exploring the crypto universe. And meanwhile, we had both taken a class that maybe many of you have also that taught us how to invest in crypto. And it was promising for months to host a discussion on how to handle the crypto taxes. But when the big day finally arrived with all the rumors of a big discount for us on the crypto software, and they were going to recommend the software, and they announced, and maybe you were there last year, they announced they would give us a 24% discount on the software if we purchased their $500 course on how to use the software. I'm sorry, but a 24% discount that you have to pay $500 for is not a discount. That is a markup. And this got me really furious because I could tell that I wouldn't need their stupid course with all my experience of the bookkeeping and the investments and already. And I'd been waiting all this time for the promised tax help for no good reason. Because I'm the kind of person you probably never met, but I've gotten so far into investing, especially with options, futures, Forex, kind of, you name it, I've done it, except bonds and real estate, which I refuse to do for some reason. But anyways, I've had enough success in trading that every year I need to plan my capital gains and losses very carefully so I don't end up with a huge tax bill at the end of the year and penalties because I underpaid. And I don't want to have overpay and have to scrounge up all that money for estimated tax payments when I could have been using the money for something like paying for my kids' school or reinvesting in new schemes like crypto, or even giving it away to some of my local charities. So a couple times a year, I go through my list of open trades with a fine-tuned comb to figure out which losses to harvest and which trades to delay closing until next year, and which options to exercise so I can delay gains even further. So I'm like totally nutso. You probably never realized that you met someone like me. So that night after the tax webinar, when Guillaume and I got to chatting about it, we realized a couple things. We realized that A, we could purchase a corporate account and share access with people and skip that other company. B, we could create a course of our own to help people figure out the software if they needed help, which we could tell they might. And C, we realized the biggest thing missing from the other company's offer was that there was no support for when people got stuck doing their crypto taxes on their own. It was a do-it-yourself course with no help. And so we had an idea, and that night we created the Crypto Bookkeeping Simplified membership. And we have tutorials, we have guides, we have all these things. And within 1 week, we had our first client and we helped her process her taxes. And here's what she had to say after that. I had a hard deadline, and with the timely and super detailed guidance of Jessica and Guillaume, I'm done. PDF sent off to the accountant. It was like a treasure hunt with a hotline to ask a friend when I got stuck. Thank you so much, Jessica and Guillaume, for your super support. And we were thrilled with this because let me tell you right now, yes, we have 3 packages we're here to tell you about. So you can start listening to see which one might fit your needs best, or if you don't need us at all, that's fine too. Like I said, no pressure. So if you are comfortable with computers and accounting and you just want to buy the software from us, we will happily offer you a legit 25% discount from the listed price. No questions asked, no other obligations. You do not have to buy our course. We're intending to keep that 25% off the list price for future years. And if you're interested, we'll definitely be sharing a link in a little bit about how you can find out and just get the software. Especially if you are running bot automations, you need the unlimited transactions that we offer. Okay, but we also realize that most people are not as obsessive about taxes like me. They don't enjoy playing with numbers and spreadsheets and accounting software, and they don't want to spend hours hunting down obscure references in FAQ databases. They would much rather hand everything over and know that their taxes are done, optimized, and as accurate as possible within the current limitations of tax software and crypto regulations. And so for these people, we offer our premium done for you package. You hand over your data, we turn it back around, and then you take it to your accountant and you're done. And then there's a third group of people that we want to help, which is the people who lost a lot of money this year. They don't think they can afford paying for someone to do their taxes for them, although they would love that, because wouldn't everybody? They're going to have to figure out all this stuff for themselves, but they'd rather do it with a minimum of headaches, and even better if there's great support available every time they run into trouble. And so for these investors, we offer a basic do-it-yourself package. So here's kind of what we're sharing today. Here's the truth. We know crypto taxes scare people. We know accountants who have fired their clients because they found out they were investing in crypto and they didn't want to figure it out. In fact, my accountant that I now use to file my taxes has graciously declined our referrals to him. He's putting up with doing my taxes because he trusts me after all these years to know enough about what to do. And he's actually sending me several clients to figure out their crypto stuff, and then they take it back to him to file their actual taxes. But he really doesn't want to go through the headache of learning all the nuances of crypto and taxes. And if my accountant doesn't want to learn how to offer crypto services to his clients, how do you know if your accountant will be able to handle your crypto taxes? And in fact, that is how I met Donna. Donna had gone to our accountant and told him she had bought some crypto in 2021 and she needed to report taxes. And since he had no idea about crypto taxes and didn't want to deal with it, but he knew I was starting to teach people about it, he sent her to me. Now, Guillaume and I developed a basic crypto bookkeeping simplified membership that was meant to be completely online. It had live weekly Zoom calls, a Slack community to ask questions between calls, and then we set up all the tutorials and an awesome gamified membership area where people can learn at their own pace, whether that's binge watching everything because you got to get your taxes done now, or following along with a 6-day email sequence that parcels out a task for each day. So at the end of the week, you have your taxes done. But Donna needed a little more help, and she asked to meet in person. She came over to my kitchen table, brought her huge computer monitor with her so she could access her exchanges and her tax software. And then she showed me what she'd done, and I showed her what to do next. So there's 3 steps to successful crypto taxes that we teach everyone. And the first step has 2 parts. Number 1, you have to find all of your crypto. You have to remember where you put it. It's crucial to import all of your data from every exchange or wallet you've ever had to get accurate tax reports. So the first thing we do with our crypto tax clients is brainstorm with them where all of their crypto is. And in fact, we do have a worksheet right now. I think Guillaume's going to drop a link to a PDF version and possibly an Excel Google Sheets version, so you can play along. And just take a minute right now, or if you have a piece of paper or one of these documents, brainstorm where all of your crypto might be. So it could be places like Kraken, Binance, Gemini, KuCoin, Coinbase, or it could be other major exchanges. Maybe you have a Bitcoin wallet or a ledger. Maybe you're earning interest on coins in Nexo, and God forbid you have coins stuck in a protocol that went bankrupt like Celsius, FTX, Voyager, BlockFi, etc. And then think about your wallets. Like, do you have a MetaMask? In the MetaMask, does it have different networks set up like Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum Network, and Polygon, and maybe some other crazy ones? So if you write them all down, and if anyone has a number, how many they have, I'd love to see it in the chat. If you have more than 2, or maybe 5, or if you had like a lot, okay. In any case, it's really important that you find all of your crypto, because you have to import all your data from absolutely every place you've ever been, including the places that have closed or stolen your money. You need to import all of it because most countries use all purchases and sales to help figure out your tax obligations. And if you ever want to, check it out. We actually I'm doing Facebook Lives 3 times a week, and we're talking about some of this stuff. Like one of the Facebook Lives we did this week was about how Canada figures all of your taxes on every single purchase. It's kind of crazy. So if you want to check that out, way too many, says Jody. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know how many I have, so I probably should count them up at some point. Right, so you have to find all of your treasure hunts. And this is something that we encourage everybody to do, whether you're working with us or not. The second part of step 1 of the crypto tax reports is to import all of your data into a tax software. First of all, you need to use a crypto tax software because most of the data is recorded either on the public blockchain or it's inside your exchange's database. Either way, it's relatively simple to export the data, including the value of your coins, the times you bought and sold them, and the tiny little decimal amounts of the coins that you're buying. It's really easy to import that into a tax software that will figure out the numbers to report on your taxes for you. It is not as easy to type all those numbers into your taxes manually. So we highly recommend finding a good crypto tax software. And this importing your data into the tax software is really easy if you have one exchange with a few transactions in it, especially if you only traded in one of the more common exchanges that is supported by most tax software. So supported exchanges in this case means that the tax software knows how to translate the data it receives from your exchange into numbers that make sense on your tax report. And there is 3 ways to import your data into a tax software. The first way, and by far the easiest, is to create an API, or an application programming interface. This is the way that the computers and the exchanges can talk to each other. So a lot of you might have done this if you've done bot trading and you set up BitsGap or something like that. You set up a read-only API key, so it can't access your funds. It just exports the data out of your exchange and into your tax software. And then the tax software downloads all of your trades and you get to prep your tax reports. And it's fairly painless once the data is imported. And those tax softwares that say you can have tax reports in 20 minutes, if you've been doing bot trading, sometimes it does take several hours to import a lot of trades. So just be aware of that. But some exchanges don't have an API key built yet. So then you need to find a CSV, which is a comma separated values file that has all your trade information. And these things, I'm kind of fascinated by them. If you look at them in an Excel program, they look like a spreadsheet, but they actually are all the data is separated by commas, and it takes a lot less space in the files, so they can transport a lot of data into your tax software very quickly and easily with smaller files, and it's all good. So the best crypto tax softwares have supported CSV files, where you basically find the CSV file in your exchange, you download it, you drop it into the software, and it uploads. And all of your data is imported, and you can push the button and prepare your tax reports. But many of the newer crypto tax softwares have not had time to build out their supported CSVs yet. Not to mention that exchanges often change the format of their CSV files, and that sometimes breaks the data import. So if the CSV file isn't supported or it doesn't import all the data you need, then each tax software has a different method of preparing the file into something that can be read by the tax software. We call this an unsupported CSV file, and it can be a little bit of a headache. And there goes your 20-minute tax filings. Okay. Still, a CSV file is a lot easier to use to import your trading data than the third method of data import, which is to hand type all of your data into the software. And we never recommend that because there's so many ways you can make mistakes. And speaking of APIs and CSVs, this is a post from one of our members, Janice. We have a channel in our Slack group where people can post their celebrations when they're done with their taxes for the year, because we want to see everybody succeed. So we get really excited about these. And this was Janice. She said, wow, finished my first year tax report. I have now sent my tax file to my accountant, waiting for her feedback. Thanks for all your help. I could not have done it without you all. It took some time to work through, but I got there and I now understand the little quirks of the CSV files and the APIs. And we said, yay. She said, full credit to Jessica and yourself for putting all of this info out there. So after you found your crypto and where it's hiding, and then you've imported the data about your purchases, your sales, and your receipts of crypto, then it's time for the second step in the crypto tax process, which is reconciling. And here is where I can go on for absolutely hours telling you why certain crypto tax software work better than others for the reconciling process. And in fact, the gift that we have for you in a little bit is going to go into all of that. It's going to go a little more into how taxes work for crypto and all the stuff I can't cover in a 1-hour presentation. And it also compares 9 different popular crypto softwares, so you can kind of get a sense of which one might work for your situation and why you might want to avoid certain other ones. So that's coming, not yet, but because we don't want to distract you. So that's coming, but here's what reconciling boils down to. So crypto transactions are basically in 2 categories. There is anything you get, which is mining and staking rewards, bonuses for opening an account, wages earned, and all of that stuff. Things that you didn't actually purchase, but you just receive. And then there's everything you dispose of or sell for crypto, including when you use crypto to buy things, including if you have a crypto credit card. This actually needs to be reported for many countries on your taxes. And another way of putting this is if you earn or receive some crypto, you need to report it as income. And if you sell some crypto, you need to report the capital gains and losses, which is the difference between what you paid for the crypto and what you sold it for. So what you paid for the crypto or the value it was worth when you received it is called the cost basis. And that is the foundation of figuring out your capital gains and losses and optimizing your taxes. The good news is that most crypto tax software will correctly report your purchases and sales that happen in the same exchange. Where they run into trouble is when you start doing more complicated things like moving money to various places, starting DeFi protocols, or running bot automations where literally hundreds of transactions can take place in 1 second, and the API data import gets confused. Crypto tax software often uses artificial intelligence to guess at the data that isn't completely clear. So if you move crypto from Kraken to Coinbase, it will usually match up that your crypto moved and maintain its cost basis. But if the data doesn't make complete logical sense, the software is programmed to make a conservative report about your actions for your taxes. And what does that mean? So say you buy a Bitcoin at Kraken for $60,000 and then you move it to Coinbase. But the software gets confused and it might report that your Bitcoin, which should have had a cost basis of $60,000, actually has a cost basis of 0. And that means that 100% of the amount you sell it for will be reported as capital gains. And you can tell if you sold that Bitcoin at a loss of $30,000, but your tax software says it's a gain of $30,000, that is a tremendously huge, big difference on your crypto tax reports. And it makes a huge difference on your crypto tax bill. Which is why there's only one tax software that we recommend for your reports if you are a crypto investor who does anything more complicated than a few buys and sells in one exchange. Cointracking not only has the capability to handle literally hundreds of thousands of transactions. I have seen close to 1 million personally, and they do have a way to handle more than 1 million for those of you who might get there. Unlike some other softwares that claim that they're unlimited, but they actually handle only 20,000 or so. It's also much easier to use in terms of finding errors and fixing them, and it's getting better every month. I do little happy dances. I'm like, oh no, they did something really cool. And my crypto tax clients laugh at me because I'm so ridiculous. It also has a variety of reports to help you plan ahead with your current and projected gains and losses, and its tax reports include formats for over 100 countries and 13 different tax methods. Of course, actually going and finding your errors and fixing them in the software is a little bit trickier than pushing a button for a tax report and trusting that it's close enough, which is why we created our tutorials and our guides and our video walkthroughs of the most efficient way to reconcile your taxes, as well as a lot of our best tips and tricks to help you get the best results. But it didn't take us long to figure out that most people would be a lot happier with the process if we just did it for them. So back to Donna. When I met her, Guillaume and I were just figuring out how we could start helping people by doing their taxes for them, but we weren't ready to do them yet. So I showed her how to reconcile her account, and then I told her to send me some of her missing data so I could add it for her because I felt a little sorry for her. And she disappeared. And when I finally tracked her down a few months later, it turned out she was freaking out. She had pushed the button and run the report 20 minutes after she imported her data, and learned that Cointracking was claiming she had $220,000 worth of capital gains. And she knew she didn't have enough money to cover a tax bill for that amount of gains. And she had gotten herself so stressed about it, she ended up with shingles, and she was like having surgery for something else. She was a total mess. And I was really upset because I knew I could help her, but she had never asked me. So I quickly went to work on her account and reconciled her accounts for her, and just correcting the errors on her reports that we teach you how to do in our crypto membership reduced her capital gains by $50,000, which is pretty good. But remember, she had earned $160,000 selling 100% of her Bitcoin. And if you sell 100% of your Bitcoin, it's a lot harder to adjust things to fix that. I couldn't do anything about reducing those gains. And then I looked at her other positions. I looked at another report in Cointracking, and I found her current gains and losses on her positions. So remember the Ripple that she had bought. And yeah, her gains and losses report showed, I don't know if you can see the tiny numbers here, but they showed an unrealized loss of $340,000. Unrealized losses are the losses that show up on paper. You haven't taken the action to close the position, and therefore you can't claim that loss on your taxes, and it doesn't help you at all. And looking at her situation is when I realized that we needed to expand our Crypto Bookkeeping Simplified membership to include help with the third and most crucial task of preparing your crypto tax reports, which I think is you need to learn how to plan for and analyze your current and future tax situation. So by using some basic reports available in Cointracking, here's a couple examples. You can plan ahead and realize when you might be in a situation like Donna, and you can actually do something about it. Whether that is realizing you just had a very large gain, you need to set aside some money in a safe place that will not lose its value so you can pay the tax bill later, or If you have a really large tax gain, but you're also developing a really large paper tax loss, if you close out that loss and realize it before the end of the tax year, you can offset as much as 100% of your capital gains and not pay any taxes on that. You might be really sad that you chose poorly and your investment failed, but on the other hand, you might be really happy that your tax bill is greatly reduced. And all of this is what we help our members do in Crypto Bookkeeping Simplified. So to recap, here are the 3 steps for success on your crypto taxes. Step 1, find and import all your data. Step 2, reconcile it. And then step 3, analyze and plan for future tax consequences. And we are on a mission. We want to find all those people who need help with their crypto taxes, and we want to help them, whether it's through providing the software at a 25% discount, if that's all you need, or providing access to our do-it-yourself tutorials and support community, or if it's doing the whole damn thing for you. We want to help people, and we want to help everyone who's here today if you'll let us. So I'm sure you want to know details of how we can help you. So option number 1, if you feel completely comfortable with computers and accounting software and spreadsheets, all you want is the software, we provide a 25% off discount of the unlimited transaction 1-year subscription to Cointracking directly through our corporate account. With this tool and a little time, you can sift through the extensive FAQ database and you can reconcile your taxes yourself. You'll be connected to our corporate account to access your unlimited transactions, but otherwise you're pretty much on your own. The list price for Cointracking bought directly from Cointracking is $660, but you only need to pay us $495, and you don't have to purchase any class to get that. So if that's all you need, you can message Guillaume if you would like the link. Otherwise, I'll move on to option number 2. Okay, option number 2, for those of you who need help to get your tax reports prepared, but you don't think you have enough money to pay for our full package of done-for-you services, we offer our Crypto Bookkeeping Simplified Basic Membership. So in the basic membership, you have access to all of our checklists, our resources, our video walkthroughs of the most efficient and accurate way to prepare your crypto tax reports. We've broken down the process into 10 easy steps, and we explain the most important concepts you need to understand about crypto taxes. Our Easy Crypto Taxes course is list price at $997, and it will significantly cut the time you need to process your tax reports because we tell you exactly how to do it. Also included in the basic membership is access to our weekly live Q&A calls valued at $11.97, and our private Slack community, which is list price of $5.97. If you can't get your questions answered in Slack or at the Q&A calls, you're also welcome to email us for more support. So here is our Crypto Bookkeeping Simplified basic package so far. Easy Crypto Taxes course, the live Q&A calls, the community forum. Total value so far, $2,791. But we realize that a membership can be prohibitively expensive for people unless it includes the most important tool that they need for reconciling. So now we include, as part of the basic package, a 1-year unlimited transaction subscription to Cointracking through our corporate account. List price, as we mentioned, is $660, but it is included as part of the package. But that's not even the best part, because really the value of receiving the software through our corporate account is worth even more, because one of the advantages of subscribing through us is we can actually take a look at your transactions anytime you get stuck, and we can answer your questions or help you get unstuck. So with the software included, the total value of the basic package is now $3,451. But we really want to help you. So we're offering you a discounted price of monthly payments of $97 or an annual price of $997. In case it's not obvious yet, we really want to make your crypto tax reporting as easy as possible, and we will do everything we can to help you. And we actually have a testimonial, which is a little bit long, but it's like, it kind of summarizes everything I've been talking about. I did not have a clue about compiling all of the crypto transactions and putting it into the tax program to present to my accountant. It looked like I was going to have to give my information to a crypto consultant to work out, and this would have been a huge cost and time. I was worried and did not know where to turn, and then the email appeared. This course allowed me to understand the crypto flow. I've had a background of basic accounting, so I was able to work out most of the problems by going over the course and by asking questions and getting feedback. It was great to know that I had somewhere to go to get answers. Other than the crash in the market, now I have a better understanding of crypto in general, and now make sure that the coin tracking information is up to date so I do not have a headache at the other end. It has given me confidence that I can trade crypto and have a complete trace on transactions for the powers that be. My accountant's happy I've been able to provide her with data that can be included in my accounts, and there is traceability back to a program. She was worried I was exposed and could not provide the whole picture, and your course provided all the answers. So helping people understand their taxes and reduce their reportable capital gains is one of our greatest joys, believe it or not. But wait, once we started offering the membership, we realized there were a few things people still needed to make it easier and quicker for them to succeed. For instance, we noticed many people weren't even starting to import their data. So we developed quick start workshops as a bonus for our members. During these workshops, we all meet together on Zoom and we work through the process of connecting yourself to the software and finding your CSV files to import. We run this live as a big Pomodoro session and we don't record it. So everyone who comes leaves having made good progress on importing their data. List price of this is $250 and you can come to as many of these as you need to. But we really want to take care of you and we really want to make sure you understand your taxes and their consequences. So we're offering a second bonus of 2 free 30, this is actually 30-minute, does it say? Yeah. Anyways, I got to get my slides straight. 2 free 30-minute one-on-one Zoom consults to be used whenever you like during your year of subscription. You can stack them together for a longer call, or you can use them separately at any point in the process. If you get stuck, if you need understanding your reports, whatever, these calls with our crypto tax experts are list price of $247. And then finally, if there's one thing I learned from my experience with Donna, it's that it's not enough to just make sure your taxes are processed correctly. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of strategies you can use to reduce your taxes or optimize them, but only if you're planning and evaluating your activities before the end of your tax year. So for our basic membership, we are also offering 2 group strategy calls where we can help you figure out the best ways you can prepare for your taxes. Whether that's evaluating if your current investment strategies are working, planning to sell some of your losses before the end of your tax year, advising you on when and how much to set aside if you're expecting a large tax bill, and a whole lot more. List price for this is $497. So if we add all of those bonuses on, the quick start workshops, the 2 30-minute consults, and the group strategy calls, we end up with a total value of $4,445, but you can start today for $97. In fact, a deposit of $97, you get to decide if you want to pay the rest in monthly installments or in one lump sum of $900 in 30 days. So let me also take this moment to explain we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you make your deposit of $97 today and you can't see the value that we offer, or you realize that our services are overkill for your situation, just contact us before the 30 days are up, and we will not only cancel your future payments, but we will also give you a full refund of your deposit, or we can apply it to your software subscription if you'd rather just have the software. So you can try us out with absolutely no risk. And if you like what you see and you want to continue, at the end of the 30 days, your credit card will be charged your next payment, whether that's the monthly payment of $97 for the rest of the year, or you can save yourself some money by choosing to pay the $900 balance of the full payment. And I think Guillaume already dropped the link in the chat if you want to check out the sales page and get started. But here's a quick look at what the sales page looks like so you know you're in the right place. I took pictures because it's a lot easier than pulling it up and going live through it. But at the top, it says this is crypto giving you taxes. And as you scroll down, there's all this information you can read on there. And you can tell I have a lot of information. So if you don't want to read the whole page, pick one of these golden buttons anytime through the page, and it'll take you to the bottom of the page where you can click on the important button, which is the reserve my spot button. Pay only $97 today. It saves your spot. And once you have clicked on that button, it'll take you to this page. Here's where you choose if you want to do 2 payments, which is the $97 today and then the $900 in 30 days, or you can choose the monthly button by clicking the other box. You fill in your information, you fill in your credit card, you tell us if you already have a coin tracking account or if you need to start one. And we've got emails set up for a couple days after you purchase that will give you all the information you need to access your coin tracking subscription and to whatever the Easy Crypto Taxes courses and all that stuff. So that all comes after you purchase. And once you've filled in your credit card and purchase, then you will be offered the option of upgrading to door number 3. Now, door number 3, if you remember, we had the software that you can get, or we have the do it yourself. But if you don't want to do it yourself, or if you're the crypto investor who has more than a couple of exchanges, who runs bot automations, who does any DeFi or any other more complicated schemes, we really recommend that you consider upgrading to our premium crypto bookkeeping simplified package. So in the premium package, not only do you get all of the tutorials, guides, and resources that we talked about in the basic membership, why do it alone? But you get all of the resources, the Q&A calls, the Slack community, the quick start workshops, and the subscription to coin tracking. So that's already worth $3,701. But you also get our team of experts reconciling your tax reports for you. So in the interest of time, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. I know I've gone on a long while already, although I think I'm making pretty good time. But here's the process for the Done For You package. So once you purchase the basic package, you'll be offered the option to upgrade. That page looks like this, and it's a full sales page. And again, you can read the whole thing, or you can skip with any gold button down to the bottom of the page where you would reserve your spot for $100 today. And again, it's going to work the same way. You choose if you want to pay monthly payments or if you want to do the big payment of the rest of the balance in 30 days. After you fill in your credit card info and purchase, then you're taken to this survey. It's relatively short, kind of lays out your responsibilities and your rights and what we're going to do for you, and gives us a couple basic information about your crypto activities so far. So you fill out the survey. Then we send you a series of emails over 5 days that gives you all the different resources. So it's not all at once and way overwhelming. Just take it one step at a time. And if you ever get stuck, we're always an email away, or you can contact us through help desk. You can, lots of ways to find us. So you'll choose whether you want to learn all the details in our Easy Crypto Taxes course. So you can get all the resources and figure out how to reconcile it yourself. But the advantage of doing it, having it done for you, is you really want to do it as fast as possible, and you don't want to be bothered with all the details. So we also have created a 30-minute quick start course, which tells you how to hook up your APIs, how to find your CSVs, how to get your information to us, and then we take care of the rest. So you choose which of those you want to access, and then you connect your APIs and you find your data for us, which might be the trickiest part. But again, we have those quick start workshops where we can help you if you get stuck. You upload your CSVs and supporting screenshots. You create your exchange list. We actually create the exchange list for you. You just have to fill it in, and it looks very similar to that worksheet we shared earlier, where we just need the name of your exchange and if it's connected or not yet. And then we also create a Google Drive file folder that you drop all of your files into. We have a program management software where you can communicate directly with us. It's all really cool and pretty slick. You do that, you send us all of your information, and then we go to work reconciling. If we come up with any questions, you answer our questions. And at the very end, you sign off on the crypto taxes and you send them to your accountant. So, so much easier than doing it yourself. And if you want to read all the gory details about what we do when we process your accounts, there's lots of information on the sales page. But now that we've looked at how much getting your crypto tax reports done for you is, we've looked up for you the comparison to give you a sense of how much this costs if you go to somebody else. So coin tracking crypto tax prep, if you have 5,000 transactions, starts at $27.99. You get up to 8 hours of work on your accounts. It does not include the software, so you still have to buy the software. And then Zen Ledger is another professional crypto service that does taxes for you. They give you up to 7 hours on your account. The package starts at $3,500. Again, it doesn't include software, and it's full of little fine print that says this price will go up if you're more complicated. So that means that we could easily charge $29.97 for our premium package, but we want to make it just for the Done For You package. But we're going to give you all of this stuff, and we want to make it as affordable for you today. So if you purchase today, we are $6,698 in value. We will give it, the price if you buy today is $197 monthly, or $19.97 if you decide to pay in full. But again, you put a deposit down of $197 today. In 30 days, you get to try us out and risk-free. If you don't like it, you can downgrade, or get a refund of your money. And then at the end of the 30 days, you can either keep paying monthly payments for the year, or you can pay the rest of the balance, which would be $1,800 at that point. And we do not charge this on top of the basic package, just in case it's not clear. If you purchase the basic package and then upgrade, your monthly payments would be just $197, not the $97 plus $187, just in case that's not clear. Okay. So as we mentioned before, I haven't even told you about the bonuses yet. So as we mentioned before, we realize people enjoy having more support. So in addition to our done for you services, we're also including the strategy calls that we offer the basic package, but premium clients get them every single month, monthly strategy calls for a list price of $11.97. And we also continue to offer you the Zoom consults, but now you get 12 15-minute consults, which you can use anytime during the year. You can stack them up for 3 hours, or you can spread them out for accountability. Anytime you're stuck, you use one of your calls and meet up with us, and we can help you get unstuck or understand it, tell you exactly what to tell your accountant, whatever you need. And there is so much more I want to tell you about, but I also want to let you guys ask questions. So now we're going to drop a couple more links in the chat to make sure that you have the information you need. So if you have any questions and they're not answered yet, or you want to ask specifically about your own situation and see what package might be the best fit for you, whether it's software, do it yourself, or done for you, there's a calendar link for me. So please come talk to me about your situation. I love to talk crypto taxes. I'm a total nerd. Come talk to me. I can help you figure out which one is right for you. And then the second link, which Guillaume is going to drop in the chat, is a free gift from us. You have waited plenty long. If you go to the website that he's dropping in there and enter the coupon code that he is also entering, I know he's going to get there some point, you can claim access to Crypto Taxes 101, which is our basic course that teaches you a lot more that I couldn't go into detail today about how the crypto taxes work, the 2 kinds of income you need to report, how to pick a good software, which softwares you can compare, and a little bit of hints about what to do year round to have good success and all that stuff. It's all available in the Crypto Taxes 101 course. $97 value, totally free for you being here and for being friends with Nat and Jody, which we love. Okay. And then the third link that's going to go in the chat one more time is the link to the basic package. If you go to the basic package link, you actually can access all 3 packages on that page. So number 1, obviously there's a button to buy the basic package. Number 2, if you just want the software and you scroll all the way past the buy button for the basic package, there actually is a little link at the bottom that says just looking for the software, and you can get to it that way. And number 3, if you want the upgraded done for you package, buy the basic package and then upgrade. So there's just a couple more things I want to mention before we get any farther, and that's that we want to deliver the best possible customer service for our clients. And luckily for us, it's still early in the tax season, which means that you have time, if you are doing the basic package, to find your data, reconcile your reports, and get support for your questions if you get stuck. If you put this off much longer, you're going to run out of time. For our premium clients, we recommend getting into line as soon as possible, because your place in line to get your taxes processed is determined first by purchase date and then by when you submit your info for us to process, because we can't do anything if you haven't connected your APIs and send us your CSVs. So your taxes also can't be finished until we've asked you any questions that turn up. So we do need a little bit of time to go back and forth with you if you end up with a complicated situation that we need to figure out, or if you forgot what you did somewhere. So best idea is, if you want done for you services, get on board today so that you have enough time to get it done without a lot of stress. And like I said, it's still early in the tax season, so we're pretty confident we have time to process if you purchase today and submit your info soon. But the other thing to consider is that time is getting short, and we anticipate that our pipeline is going to fill quickly. I know that the crypto firms were pushing people way out, way before the tax deadlines. They were saying you have to get an extension and you have to, because we don't have time to process you before April 15th or April 30th, whenever your due date is. So we anticipate the pipeline is going to fill quickly, especially at these prices. If you want to make sure your taxes are done in time for your country's tax due date, so you don't have to file an extension, then you should get yourself into the line as soon as possible before it's too late. Another reason you might want to purchase today is that we're reserving the right to raise our prices the closer we get to the tax deadlines. So purchasing today gets you in at the lowest prices possible. And to help you make your decision even easier, if you think, and we do have a couple of fast action bonuses for you if you decide to purchase by Friday. We're going to run this through Friday so that people who are watching the replay have a chance to get to it. And you here also get those couple of days. So for the basic package, if you purchase by Friday, we're going to include a 1-hour checkup by one of our crypto tax experts on your accounts. So what this means is when you're ready and you think you've reconciled everything, we will take a look at your accounts and either fix the mistakes we see, or we'll write you a quick checklist of things that you need to fix for best results. If you think you can't afford the premium services and you have to do it yourself, but you're worried about any mistakes and errors you might miss, this is like your opportunity to get the best of both worlds. You can get the cheaper price basic package, but you also get us looking and catching the worst mistakes in your taxes. And if you purchase by Friday, or even better by the end of today, you can lock in this bonus. And if you purchase the premium package by Friday, not only will you save your spot in our pipeline, but you will also be entitled to our new monthly checkups. And so what is a monthly checkup? So after tax season finishes, we will be sending a quick email to you about once per month, and you can choose to have us update your coin tracking records every month. You send us your updated CSVs and screenshots, and we'll update your DeFi transactions. We'll fix your bot trade errors that happen, especially if you're in KuCoin, and we'll keep everything really clean for you. And what that means is that when you get if you have kept your account up to date, not only will you have a better sense of how your crypto investments are doing, so you can make better investing decisions. Oh yeah, here it is. We do all the hard work. You just give us a little checklist and send your things over to us, and we do the rest. Also, not only do you know better what your investments are doing, and they always say that if you're watching something, you tend to do better at it because you're paying attention. But if you get reconciled near the end of the year, say in November or December, if you have a December 31st tax year end and you get reconciled before the end of that, your purchase today is almost like a 2-for-1 deal, because by the time you get to the end of the year, your accounts may be so clean that you can either reconcile the rest for yourself, or you can pay us a small fee in 2024 to finish your 2023 reconciling. And then your only other tax cost for your crypto tax reporting would be the coin tracking subscription that you do need to renew, which again, we're offering 25% off list price. So if you were to take advantage of our monthly checkups, the list price, the value of this bonus could be worth well over $14.97. So the question now is, how much support do you want for your crypto taxes this year? Do you want to be frustrated and stressed about taxes? Or do you want to have someone on your team making sure you finish quickly with your taxes optimized so that you know they're done right, you know you're paying the least amount of taxes possible, your stress for your crypto taxes is reduced, and you can make great investment decisions because you have the information you need and a team on your side to help you be more successful? And Guillaume just put in the chat, we also have a link to pay with crypto. If you're interested, you do need to message us for details on that because it's a little more complicated and not set up on the sales page yet. And I think I made it. How did I do on time? Oh, 5 o'clock.
Well done.
Yes. So, and now if there's anyone with any questions or barking dogs.
Sorry.
If you want to get a word in edgewise.
First and foremost, thank you for going through everything. What I find and what I wanted to just sort of highlight, and the thing that sticks out for me the most having had the experiences, that monthly checklist to, like, after your first tax reporting done on that premium package, even just when I used coin tracking for the first time and I let it sit for sort of 6 months, there was so much that needed updating and reconciling again. So I really want everyone to realize that that's a very valuable aspect to the premium membership, because just those little reminders so that you don't let it bank up on you. And the other thing that I guess being kind of a new investor myself, like things that I hadn't thought about, is that analysis and pre-planning, because, you know, again, life takes over for some people. You just suddenly, months go by and it's too late. But it's like, if there is an opportunity to sell off or to look at, you know, making a date after the tax year so that you can actually really optimize that offsetting part for gains and losses. I think, to me, that is what you guys bring to that real educational and support aspect to all of your members. You know, just understanding that. And it's just one of those things that we all need to go through. We all need to, like, first have the direct experience of it, and then, you know, we get better at it. But, you know, even on the basic package, I'm assuming you've got, you know, help with understanding how that works. But then with the premium package, you're getting kind of the reminders for it and the, you know, the special strategy calls and stuff as well. So yeah, you guys have done an awesome job. I think you've got a really amazing opportunity here for everyone to, at the end of the day, I think, save some money. It sort of comes down to, but do the right thing, like do the right thing with your taxes, but ultimately get really strategic about it, and, you know, not be paying more than you need to, first and foremost, but yeah, saving along the way with it as well. Well done. Thanks, guys.
That's exactly it. And we want to educate everyone. So that is why we're offering the group strategy calls twice a year. Strategically, we're going to have one available in December so that North American and tax deadlines, you can take action before the end of your tax year. And then we're going to have another one available in June for our Australian friends so that they can take advantage before their tax deadline, and do either closing out or saving their transactions for the next year. Yeah, and the education, that's so, like, I want everybody to learn how to do this right. So we try to make it as brainless as like stupidly simple, like, please buy ourselves, because we want to help you guys.
Yeah, let you guys be the geeks and the nerds to stay on top of it. You know, everybody else can just do what they need to do, for sure. So yeah, if you've got any questions, unmute yourself or just type into the chat box. But I did want to probably first address, because I know that there's going to be quite a few Australians watching the replay of this as well. Do you have many Australian clients?
We
and
do
or
have a few.
around
Yes,
the world?
yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. We have clients in UK. We have clients in Canada. I think we have one in France. We have a couple Australia and New Zealand, at least 2 New Zealand, at least 1 Australia. So yeah, we have people all over the world that we're helping.
Awesome. All right. Let me just see if I can see everybody's face here, because then I know who's going to try and talk.
I think it was interesting too, because I think the thing that I learned was it's not just about your taxes. It's actually about knowing when to get in and out of investments as well. So all of that starts to come into it. So you actually sort of get investment help with it as well. So that was pretty cool.
Paul, did you have any questions? Yep.
Yeah, I've got, Jessica, I've got a CSV file ready to go it's on Exchanges Binance, and I've been using Bitscap, and the CSV file is sitting here. What do I get charged for that to be processed? Sort of.
For just uploading the CSV?
Yeah.
So it's if you have the coin tracking software, that's included, the CSV. But with Binance, it's a good idea to have the API connected, because it imports most of the data automatically. But then we've noticed you also have to upload the CSV. It's a matter of taking the CSV, because it is supported, and just dropping it into the software, and it automatically uploads and should balance out correctly.
So Paul, what I'll add to that is that free gift that Jessica is giving
Yeah.
to us all, where you put our name in as the coupon code.
Mm.
That's where you're going to be able to have a look at the different softwares and maybe evaluate from there. So if you're looking at the different softwares to start with, so it's almost like step one, look at the softwares. Everybody recommends the plan. Dan Hollings recommends coin tracking. Jessica has painstakingly gone through all the different softwares to realize that unfortunately Dan Hollings was right. And coin tracking is the best. Not unfortunately, it is fortunate. But yeah, then there's other softwares that if you're not doing as many transactions, like if you haven't run as many bots and all that, maybe you'll fit under their threshold. But what they provide and how they do their reporting is just not as simplified as coin tracking. So it's kind of like either way, the $500 US for the coin tracking is, you know, pretty much what the highest recommendation is. You still can choose another software for sure, but maybe do the evaluation from that gift that Jessica's giving. If you decide to do the software, you know, doing it with the help, then getting the help and getting the software included is, you know, nothing like having the hand holding. And yes, and Donna is in Australia as well. So Donna and Paul are here. We'll probably have a few more people from the recording. I think Chris is in Australia too.
Can I talk to you when you're available, Jody, at some stage regarding this?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just need a bit of direction because this is all new to me, the whole thing.
You can always take up Jessica's offer and have a chat with her as well. So we've got those links.
Yeah.
I love talking taxes, and I talk to people, you know, if you have only traded in Binance and it's a matter of you just uploading your information and hopefully everything's okay, you might be okay with just the software, and you might be better off with the class that also teaches you how to do the software. But if you're not doing anything terribly complicated, you probably don't need the done for you services unless you really don't want to deal with it yourself.
I really don't want to get too involved in tax. It's not my thing.
Right?
I've got better things to do.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to be bogged down. I really don't.
And in that case, you might want to go for done for you, because it's just, you send us what you have and we do the rest. You do have to connect your APIs because we don't want to have access to your exchange. We don't want to ever be tempted to steal your money.
Yeah.
So you have to go in and you have to set up the API to connect the software so it talks to each other. But after that, we do everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, just leave it with me, and I've got to get it done, but I don't want to be poring over this for hours and days. It's just, I don't want to.
Which is
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. We can have a quick chat, Paul, when you're we might even be seeing you this weekend. We'll see how it
Okay.
goes.
All right then, Jody. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
So Donna, do you have any questions you want to ask directly rather than typing? Or
Oh, only that my accountant doesn't want to know about crypto. But I will have to do a report, and it's got to be done in a month because ours is from last financial year that finishes 30th of June. But I bought my initial crypto on SwiftX, and then I transferred everything over to Binance. So all my trading's only being done through Binance. But I have transferred or gifted coins from Binance to my son in Binance. Is that a tracking nightmare?
It's not. We know how to handle it. And we do, one of the bonuses we have in our Easy Crypto Taxes course is you can label the different things in your account. Like if you're keeping your kids' crypto and you want that separate and it shouldn't be reported on your taxes, there is a way to handle that. And we talk about that in the bonuses.
Yeah. I've got to say that I invested a bit of money, and basically I've lost about, I don't know, 60% of it. So reporting on it would just be, it kind of is a fruitless task at this point because there's no gains made. There's nothing Well, no, I did make 300 the last month, didn't I?
I think that's the biggest mindset shift, Donna, because it's the whole point of being so down and having, it's different having a value being down, but if you can actually make some of them be proper write-offs, like actual reporting, realizing the losses, then that's what makes it good for
But
rolling
can you
over.
but is it realizing the losses? I mean, there's only 3 months. I've only got 3 months in that financial period.
If
Did
you
you-
have losses, you can still realize them. And if the losses are more than your gains, a lot of countries will let you roll the losses over to apply to future years. So if you have $100,000 worth of losses this year that you can't use, and then next year Bitcoin goes way up and you have $100,000 of gains, you actually would have a zero tax bill next year because you got to offset with your losses from this year.
I understand that, but wouldn't I have had to have sold to realize my loss?
Yes,
In which
you do
case
have
I-
to sell to realize the
That's
loss.
right. So you can't realize the loss that's sitting there doing nothing at this point from 10 months ago. No, not 10 months ago, from 8
But-
months ago.
If you were running bots last year when those losses happened, there is losses built into that as the bots are buying and selling. It's not just a matter of it's been sitting there since then, but you were doing a lot of trading at that point and you will be shocked. We have so many members who are shocked at the number of transactions that end up on their tax reports and the amount of money that actually went through because those bots are doing $30 every second or whatever of trades. It adds up a lot. And you might be surprised that you do have some losses to report.
Yeah, okay, no, I understand that buying and selling. Most of the time though, I just stopped trading. I haven't done anything for 7 months because it just wasn't.
Yeah, but you're still talking that it would be anything prior to June 30, 2021, 2022.
Definitely.
Which is
go
when
ahead.
all your bots would have been running, except the ones that went out of range for those couple of months when
Yeah,
things fell down. But yeah,
I'll definitely go and have a look and then come back and have a chat to you about it because I'll just see, because I think initially I was buying, but I wasn't doing anything. And then I jumped in and then it just like I think I caused it, I jumped in and went it's so funny. But and for instance, me buying, my 20-year-old son, I got him in and he had a crash and burn too. I would have to pay the same amount for him if I was going to get his done. Is that correct?
No. If his stuff is in your account, like I said, there's ways to label it so you could share the account and you could run both of your taxes through one account. And if you wanted to do, if you want to do the done for you part, we would take care of separating that stuff out for you and labeling it all for you.
Some of it's in my account and some he decided he wanted to play and I let him run wild and he's done lots of crashes and burns and
and as long as he connects his information to your software and it's all in one place, we can totally handle that in one account and for one fee.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
yeah, there was a question. When was it, Jessica? Early last year, where people have say their personal trades, but then they went and set up, whether it was a trust fund or a super or like to sort of put it into their retirement thing. So with that one coin tracking account, they can run their personal for him, for her, and for the trust or the business. So the one software can actually do all of them and separate them out and spit out separate reports.
Which is wonderful because you have a picture of your entire financial picture instead of like, oh, I have to go look over there for my retirement accounts and I have to go over here for whatever. But you can still separate out the reports so that the accounts that wouldn't be taxed, you can leave them off of your tax reports. It's really easy.
It needs the proper labeling and everything, but on the other hand, I think, let's say you would have very separate account, that causes issue as well, because then you might be losing the trace of like, oh, I've transferred coins to my son or whatever, and so that's when you lose like the cost basis. So that's why we can analyze your situation. But yeah, sometimes if they're totally separate account, but you did transfer, let's say between husband and wife or something, or with your son. Sometimes people, they lose track of, the software doesn't know. And so that's why sometimes it causes other problem as well. So that's why they need to be handled properly.
So with you saying cost basis there again, Guillaume, Jessica, could you just like verbally go through that cost basis example where you said Kraken had bought Bitcoin at 60,000, but when the Bitcoin moved from Kraken to Coinbase, it was only worth 30,000. Is that sort of how you were saying? So what did the cost basis become?
Yeah, let me go back to that.
I just want to kind of get it clear again with understanding.
Yeah, I'm a visual person, so I like to
Yeah.
I like to show and I like to share the screen too. Okay. So with cost basis, and this is the other issue with not only with cost basis and moving things around, but also with conservative tax software. If you forget that you sent a coin to a wallet and it shows leaving your tax software, the tax software will report that as a sale. If it shows that it is moving to another wallet in your tax software, then the tax software is like, oh, okay, you still have the money, you haven't sold it, it's not a sale yet. But if you don't have that other wallet reporting, it could report as a sale, and then you end up with more taxes. So this is one of my examples. So if you buy a $60,000 Bitcoin at Kraken, and then you move it, and the software gets confused. So your cost basis is $60,000. And then but you lose your cost basis. So now it thinks your cost basis is 0. If you move it to Coinbase and then you sold it for $30,000 because the market crashed, you know, and I know that you bought it for $60,000, you sold it for $30,000, you should have a loss of $30,000. But if the cost basis has been lost, and this is an extreme example because who would lose a cost basis of an entire Bitcoin, but that's okay. The new cost basis means that you would have from 0 cost basis to $30,000 gain. And that makes a huge difference in your crypto taxes.
But that sort of thing is easy to reconcile in coin tracking.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Chair, I was gonna say this, the software, that's why we like the software in particular. It is has a very good, all kinds of reports. And then there's a way to identify normally that some things have missing cost basis. And that's when we need to track down sometimes, or ask often, most customers, they often forget a few things along the way. So, but we will ask them to research and tell us what's missing. But normally we find those kind of things. That's why we can help them with that, because they might have forgotten to import certain exchanges or certain transactions.
And that's one of my favorite things about coin tracking. I've tried the other softwares, and you can't always tell if it has lost your coin, you know, if it doesn't know that you sold it and it's like giving it some random value. But in coin tracking, all of the stuff that has been moved comes in imported as a deposit or a withdrawal, and depending if it was leaving or coming, and then it's all on one report. And then you go through that report, you make sure everything matches up logically, and we give you all the steps in our course, and we do it for you in the done for you. And then you don't lose your cost basis. You don't have reported sales that didn't actually happen, that was a move. None of that happens if you go through the report like we show you how to.
Jane, did you have anything to add there?
Oh, sure. I always have questions. Jessica, I'm wondering, do most of your clients use first in, first out? And I'm only asking because I was going to, and then my tax accountant suggested I used highest in instead of.
So for our USA customers, you can choose first in, first out, last in, first out, or highest in, first out. And if you want to check out my Facebook Live I did recently on it, I went through all the reasons. We actually run all 3 reports for you. And if you want, so you can look and see which one might be most advantageous to you and to your situation, and then you can choose. And coin tracking actually has the ability to record, like if you decide to use last in, first out this year, and then you want to use first in, first out another year, coin tracking actually can track that for you too. So you're not stuck in one tax method for the future.
Do most people use first in, first out?
Most people do because it's the one recognized by the IRS as official. So the IRS says you can use first in, first out, or you can use specific identification. And last in, first out and highest in, first out are two forms of specific identification. But what it means is, of course, the IRS wants you to use first in, first out, because if you bought Bitcoin and it was $5, and then you've been holding on to it all these years, and now it's worth $60,000 or $20,000 or whatever, then you have to report this huge gain and the IRS gets all this money. Whereas if you use last in, first out or highest in, first out, you could have a $60,000 Bitcoin you sold for $30,000, which means you get a $30,000 loss instead of, you know, the $30,000 gain because you bought it at 5 kind of thing. Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, the highest in some ways made more sense with a bot.
It could be, yeah.
Okay, that was one of my questions. And then also for Binance, you're suggesting using a CSV file as well. What kind of
Yeah.
transactions are coming through that are missing with the API?
It is so random. I haven't figured out why, but it just, when you import you have your API run and you look at there's one report we recommend you look at to see what your balances are. And if those balances are wrong and it shows like big red bars and negative stuff, then you need to figure out why. And usually if we import the CSV and we don't know what it is that's missing, it's just random. Usually that will fix it. And if it doesn't fix it, then we go in and we dig around until we figure out why.
Okay. I just have to say that I know we've had lots of communication by email, you and I.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I just want to say thank you because you've really helped me a lot and I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. We
Thanks.
love helping people. Like my
Thanks.
goal.
One of the things that I would love to have when you have lots of time is if coin tracking, there are lots of different things to click on in coin tracking, lots of different reports and ways
Yeah.
to look at reports, and some of them look interesting, but when you bring them up, it's way over my head.
Right?
And so it might be nice to have a tutorial on coin tracking from your perspective on what's useful for the taxes.
Oh, yeah.
As a
We
thought.
do lay out the most important reports that we use. And if you ever want to learn how to use some of the other reports, you are a member, you can come check us out, come ask at our Q&A calls and we'll go through whichever one you want to go through. Yeah.
So one of the things that Mark and I struggle with regularly is now that we've gotten past the year end and now we're into another calendar year, I want to see what our gain or loss is for this year and now disregard previous.
Yeah.
And so just to see how much money we've made or not made from the beginning or from the first of the year, sometimes that's really hard to figure out.
Yeah, we actually have demonstrated that in a couple, I think both of the strategy calls that we did before the end of the year in November and December, and there are replays available in the Easy Crypto Taxes course. And so you can go, we show you how to run that gains and losses report and set filters. So you can just look at this year or last year's. And depending, there's ways to set it also with like, if you wanted to figure it first in, first out or last in, first out, because that matters too. Yep.
Okay. Then I guess my last question, at least for now, is Coinbase, is the API is not available for Bitscap.
Yes.
And so I'm assuming that's going to cause all kinds of problems for this year if they don't get their act together. If Bitscap doesn't, we've gone to them and asked why they haven't, because obviously you can get Coinbase attached to the coin tracking,
Yes.
So why can't Bitscap get it attached? And
Because
so,
Bitscap only does Coinbase Pro. Is that what you mean?
yes. And if you made the mistake of disconnecting it, then when you go to put Coinbase Pro back in, it no longer works.
Okay.
And so we no longer have an API for Coinbase of any kind connected to Bitscap. And so luckily we did not have any bots going from Coinbase because we had stopped them all waiting for the transition in Coinbase to be done. And so we didn't have any running. And so I didn't know what happened to the people that had them running and now can't get the information back and forth to Coinbase and Bitsgap. And so I'm not sure how that's going to work with coin tracking.
So from what I've heard so far, it's like if you haven't disconnected, it's still working
Yeah.
for now. The thing about all of the APIs is every exchange builds its own API, and then every software that connects to that exchange has to figure out how to make it work in their software. So Bitsgap is going to have to build an API that works with it. And yeah, who knows how long that will take. And coin tracking, the same thing. The coin tracking instructions have definitely changed. So far, people are, if you've been keeping your accounts up to date, this is another reason to get your APIs connected early in the year is, or the FTX situation. If you're running your updates frequently enough and you're getting your transactions in, then you already have the transactions in coin tracking and you don't have to worry about what's going on right this moment, if that makes sense. So,
Well, coin tracking is picking up the Coinbase now. And then the other thing that's coming up with Binance, or at least Binance US, I'm not sure about regular Binance, is they're going to be closed for some maintenance. And the way the information came through was it made it sound like it was going to cancel all your your limit orders. And so we are slowly pulling out of our bots because they are not going to, they're going to be closed out by Binance. And so we want to choose when we're closing them out and how. So just to make you aware, I'm not sure how that is going to come through with everything.
It's always something new, right? Every week.
Yes. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add a quick question only because of the experience I had. Sometimes the software, and you were saying that coin tracking does a pretty good job, but sometimes the software, because the little code, is it called ticker or code, like whatever it is for the coin, there's duplicate or multiple versions of it. So
Yes.
I think it came from one of my DeFi accounts, and it's picked up that I got a huge value of something one time.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, I'm a millionaire, and then no, I'm not. It's just picked up the wrong code for something.
Oh my gosh.
But there's a way to fix that in contracting. So because they might have a different label for the same coin that some other places. So then there's a place to go rename it so that it gets, especially if they have like a second version of certain coins, or like they have the old version and the new version. So there's usually a way to fix that. But yeah, until you fix the label, then it just might get the wrong value.
I have to admit, I did struggle with working out because I did the deletion and then I was trying to add it back in and then I couldn't find the right one. But the one that got me the most was again, it's the DeFi, where those airdrops or those kind of fake things show up in your account, and it's like I've got this sort of fake coin popping up.
That was my Facebook Live today.
Oh, was it?
It was.
So we have a video also in the course, a bonus, I think, about how to handle those, the airdrops. And then I think, maybe it was in the Q&A calls though, that we talked about how to rename the coins when they have the wrong
Talked
label.
about it a lot. But the thing with coin tracking is they have a way to bulk, like if you're trading a bot with like say Luna, and it gets, they change the ticker. So now half of your Luna is Luna 2 and half of it is Luna 3 or whatever. There's actually a way to overwrite the coins. It like takes like just a couple seconds to overwrite all of the transactions to have the correct matching coin ticker. So it works. And yeah, there's been a couple of times that I've given somebody like we'll open up their account and they're worth $3 million. And we're like, whoa.
Oh, my crypto's done so well.
Prices for you.
Yeah.
But it's just usually a matter of just changing the ticker name so it's not picking up the numbers that go with that ticker.
Look, a few of our bot buddies have gone ahead and got coin tracking and done it themselves. But if there's somebody that has done their own tax reporting every single year, never used an agent, it is you either enjoy it or you don't. For me, I'm kind of that in between type of. I'm quite fascinated by the software and sort of the reporting side, but then it comes to the reconciliation, and I'm like, I am far too ADD to sit down and reconcile. Oh, look at that. Oh, what was I doing again? Oh, look at that. What was I doing again? So things like, that reconciliation is not my go.
Yeah.
And it's the most
too-
important part, because the software is still not perfect. It's the best of all of them, but the reconciliation is the make or break. I mean, even that cost basis example of, you can suddenly spit out a tax report that says you've got a gain of $30,000, when in actual fact you had a loss of 30,000. That's massive.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gail.
No, I was just gonna say, you're right, it needs to be, it still need to be verified. The software can make mistake or cannot guess something that you didn't provide, but this software at least is the best one to find those issues. Of course, you need, like you said, you need to kind of somehow verify it, and it might not be, everybody might not be interested in doing that. And the
I'd
other thing
rather-
that she mentioned about the software is that if you're importing regularly, what advantage it has is, like, if exchange closes like a FTX, what happened is, at least people, they might not be able to even get the records of all their transactions, and because it's not accessible anymore, but at least everything up to whenever it closes. I mean, if you have the software, then most likely you have everything that you did on that exchange, at least, so that it helps you at the end of the year to figure out what you're gonna do and how to reconcile or prepare your
And
report.
this is some of that planning stuff, isn't it? I mean, like, nobody would have ever planned that
Yeah.
a coin would go down, a wallet would go down, and an exchange would go down. But if we had have all started with coin tracking at the start of our crypto journey, then as those things die, it's all still, recorded as such. It's important.
And then we don't even mention it too much, I guess, even today, but it can be used more like as a portfolio tracker as well. So that's the other thing that some people like after. When your stuff is up to date, then you get a better idea of where you stand. And even like when someone mentioned about like you said, planning, and maybe do I have capital gain this year or losses, then there's reports for that. So then it helps you with your planning, because all your stuff is consolidated in one place. Because like you said, we end up with most people with so many exchanges and crypto everywhere, and then it gets really hard to have the big picture.
And they just introduced a new feature like 2 months ago, where you can put custom prices on there. So if you have an NFT or a DeFi coin that isn't normally in coin tracking, you can add a value to it. So then you can kind of keep track of, oh, it's worth this much, or at least, you would have to update that regularly, but it would give you a better picture of your overall holdings.
Well,
We're so
Look,
nerdy about the software, we can go
I
on
know,
forever.
I know. And but it's also like like you say, there's just so many spider webs that come off this, because yes, we have learned how to do the bots, but as we have progressed, we have spider webbed out into many of us have as at least, and it all comes down to being, if it's in that one place, like Graham said, you got that portfolio snapshot, bang, away you go. Love everything you guys have put together. I know it's super helpful. Mark and Jane here to verify that, even though I didn't ask them to. I think I even sent the email saying, I don't know that you guys need to come to this session, but I really appreciate that you both did. But any final questions or thoughts for Jessica and Guillaume? And we got those links again. Maybe if you want to just, I think we've got them all in the chat box there.
We appreciate that Mark and Jane showed up, like you said, even if they didn't have to. And thanks again, Jody and Nat, for inviting us. So it was great to see your people.
Awesome. And so anyone watching the recording, I'll put the links in. It's just really pretty much until this weekend. Yeah.
If you want to get the fast action bonus, which is we'll review your accounts and give you a short checklist of what you need to fix if you're doing it yourself, which is incredible value. And then if you do the premium package, we will give you those monthly checkups. So if you purchase by Friday or whenever, yeah.
Cool. So I'll write down the
Putting maybe he'll put a timer on the sales page so you know when
I'll put
time is
the
running out.
2 bonuses in there when I share the recording, just so everyone knows whether to get it
Yeah.
now or later or
Yeah.
whatever, what you're missing out on. So
Yeah,
Oh,
let
and-
us know if you need any other links or whatever when you prepare the review.
And for those of you who already purchased coin tracking and your subscription is coming up, you can renew through us, but you need to cancel your subscription with coin tracking before you connect to our account.
but you don't lose the data or anything.
You don't lose the data. The data is all there in the account. It goes with you wherever you go. If you stop paying for a subscription at all, it's still there. You can't run new tax reports and you can't add to it, but the data is all in there. And I think it's pretty simple to cancel a subscription that you bought directly from coin tracking and then connect to us. And if you need to, and if you're running out in 6 months or something and you want to buy now, we can unhook you from our account so you can cancel the subscription in 6 months and then rehook you up too.
So I know that one of the easiest things to do, and like say Paul could even do this right now, if he did actually just get the free coin tracking, not pay for anything, get his ID, have a go at uploading his Binance in there, and then go, all right, I need some help. He can send his free account to you and you can load that on. Is that correct?
Yeah. In fact, everyone has to create their own account and everybody starts with a free account.
Yeah.
So you create the free account and then you purchase a subscription, or you can connect to someone with a corporate account like ours. Yep.
Cool.
I think there are restrictions on the free account. So
Yeah, you wouldn't
somebody
get too
said they
many transactions, I don't think.
yeah, there's a limit to transactions. And sometimes somebody said recently they got their API to work and I was like, but I thought you had a free account. How did you do that? So if you want to get the API connected and import a lot of Binance transactions, you'll probably have to pay for a subscription to really test it.
Yeah. All right. Final questions? All good? Thank you so much. Nat, anything from you? Final question?
No, just thank
No.
you. Thanks, Guillaume and Jessica, for coming. It was great. It was really good.
Good. Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for letting me talk for
See you
hours.
soon.
Thanks, thanks everyone for showing up.
All right. See you
soon.
next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.